You've heard it 1,000 times before. You've got to wake up at 5 a.m. to be successful.
Waking up at 5 a.m. is actually easy.
Because that's apparently when all the millionaires are journaling, meditating, writing a damn book, and getting into a cold plunge, all before breakfast. I do all right for myself, and I don't do any of that malarkey. I get up at 8 a.m. if I can help it, because that's often because I'm going to bed after midnight until 1 a.m. And, you know, I am sick of hearing that this 5 a.m. morning routine is the only way for success. Let's stop pretending there's one routine for everyone and let's start working out what actually works. This video is all about busting the myth that you have to wake up at 5 a.m. in order to create the healthy habits of a successful founder and generate success. I want to help you night owls realize there's actually nothing wrong with us, and I want to show you how we can develop a routine that works for us. I am absolutely done with the morning routine quotes. Now, I was scrolling through this morning and I already saw a bunch that I cannot stand. Let me get them up because they are ridiculous. This is all just from this morning. You should do your most important work before 10 a.m. because that's when your brain is sharpest. Don't waste all your morning brain power on emails or admin. If you win the morning, you win the day. Classic Robin Sharma. Successful people don't sleep in. I totally slept in this morning. Never start your day in reactive mode. No inbox until after deep work. You'll never meet a millionaire who sleeps in. I mean, that last one gets me because, I'm sorry, but if I'm a multi-millionaire, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I am going to be enjoying the luxury of sleep. If I don't have to be earning my millions, then I'm gonna be sleeping. What the hell? This is why I think it's ridiculous. You'll never meet a millionaire who sleeps in. Honestly, it's ridiculous. But I just want to say that these quotes kind of make you feel like you're lazy, that if you're not up before everyone else, then you're not going to do as well as anyone else. What people don't realize is that not everyone is built the same way. I really dislike mornings. Now, the only time I'm happy to get up, and I use the term happy in loose inverted commas there, the only time I'm happy to get up in the mornings is either to catch a flight, because I know I'm going to be going somewhere good, or to get up and go on a safari, which I recently just did for my honeymoon, and they were like 5 a.m, 4 a.m. sometimes starts, but to go see cute animals, totally worth it. If I can't stand it, I refuse to believe that there's something wrong with me, that I'm not going to be successful because of this little thing about me. It made me embark on a bunch of research to see what's actually true and what is the science behind those who love getting up in the mornings and those who just can't stand a morning. And let me tell you, here is what I found. We all have this thing called our chronotype. It's actually biology to determine when we wake, when we feel most alert, and when we're best at focusing. So if you're an evening person, waking up early doesn't just feel unpleasant, you're actually fighting against your biology. And as a result of that, your sleep suffers, your focus suffers, the quality of your work suffers, and social jet lag actually creeps in. So how does this translate to task types? Well, things like analytical tasks or even like repetitive tasks are actually okay when you're kind of not fully alert. But the creative ones, the ones that most of these successful business influencers tell you that you must do first thing in the morning, well, if you're an evening type, your chronotype is not going to let you do good creative work in the morning. And actually, you're much better doing that later in the afternoon, because in the dead of the morning, your creative output is going to seriously suffer. So finding this out made me feel so much better, because this is how I work. And I was getting so sick and tired of all the experts telling me that basically I'm wasting the day because I am not being productive in the mornings. But actually, for me, I get up in the morning, I feel super sleepy until I've had 3 coffees, and then I feel a little bit more awake. So I like to keep my mornings for the low value output sort of stuff. So I log on to social media and I do my engagement. I kind of answer some emails, and I actually have some meetings in the morning, and that sounds kind of rude saying it's low engagement, but actually then having a conversation with someone and being forced in inverted commas, to keep up that engagement wakes me up and it kind of makes me feel a bit more alert. And that's when I start to have a bit more energy to be able to do creative tasks. But in the morning, I have to do that kind of stuff. If I were to sit there and try and do some deep thinking and some strategic work, I'm just not going to have anything in my brain. So I make sure that anything that doesn't require my A game is done before lunch. And again, people say don't do things straight after lunch because you're most tired, you're sluggish because you've eaten a big meal, but I prefer to have lunch and then I go take my dog out for a walk and I get loads of fresh air and then I feel much more awake. I sit down, I have my afternoon coffee and I'm at my desk and I just feel so motivated. That's when I am at my highest energy. And so that's when I have my biggest creative output. And I think that's really important to know that. And actually sometimes in the evenings, I sit down at my desk after dinner and I am just on it. And for most people, they're tired by this point, they're drained and they don't have the energy. So I think you really need to listen to what your body says to you. You just need to look at it, and everyone's different. And if you feel like you're working at different times of day, just own that. You don't have to do what everyone else says that you need to do. If everyone was the same, the world would be a lot more boring, a lot more predictable, that's for sure. So those of you who have read Robin Sharma's book, The 5 AM Club, and also watched all the endless TikTok videos about the successful morning routine of all the billionaires and have thought this is the key to success, I must create my own, and have been forcing yourselves to create your own morning routine, jumping in a nice bath, making yourself a smoothie, doing your meditation or yoga, whatever it is, you need to also read Matthew Walker's Why We Sleep. It's an incredible book and it will tell you that actually not all of us are wired this way. And actually for some of us, forcing this early morning routine can actually backfire. And let me tell you how. So all those things that I said I felt a bit guilty of earlier from my own schedule where I felt productive, this is actually backed up by science. So if you're waking up early every day, and you're kind of keeping your normal bedtime, then naturally you're getting reduced sleep. And this reduced sleep is leading to cumulative tiredness. And that means you've got reduced brain function over time. So actually what you're doing is you're reducing the power of your brain, which makes you more unable to make good decisions and actually produce quality work. So over time, your lack of sleep, because you're forcing yourself into a morning routine that you are guilted into, is actually destroying your brain. And because you feel guilty that you're not up with the sunrise and that you're not smashing the day, because by the time you've logged onto TikTok, millions of people are telling you how much work they've done before you've even got out of bed and had your morning coffee. This adds stress. And then your stress then kills your creativity. So all of this is just making you more anxious and your creative output has decreased again. And as I said, people's most productive hours are at different times of the day. Mine used to be between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. That was me during my 20s. During my 30s, slightly changed, but I am probably now most productive in the evenings. I do like a late afternoon as well, but also in the evenings, I feel like post dinner to about 11 p.m, I am on it. And so for those who force an early morning routine, then you're actually losing your most productive window when you have your most focus, because you're then tired during that time because you haven't given yourself enough sleep. So actually you forcing yourself into a morning routine is a massive detriment to your real productivity. So for those of you who are a little bit confused about what to do, I would suggest 4 different things to test your optimal time of your creative output and whether you do need a morning routine to kind of keep into a structure. Some people just love having a structure and a rhythm, and that helps them and obviously do what you need to do. But I would suggest these 4 steps. So number 1, just experiment for a week or 2. So try waking up at different times and try being creative at different times. So doing your creative output in the morning, the afternoon, and the evening, and see when your best creative output is. And then also make sure you log all this data and log when you feel most sharp and when you feel most foggy. So number 2, track all your performance. So I already said you want to log that stuff, but you also want to think, when did you write your best stuff? When did you close a sale? When did you feel mentally light and mentally dragged? Log all of this data and then go back and analyze it. Number 3, I'd say set flexible routines. Now, I know some people really like to have a schedule, but while you're still working this out, I would say be flexible. You don't have to start rigidly at 5 a.m. and whatever time in the morning that is. And if you're not feeling creative in the morning, then put some light-hearted admin tasks on in the morning and then save your creative output for when you're feeling more on. Just be a little bit more flexible and listen to your body and listen to your mind and be prepared to change your day each day to adapt to how your body and mind is feeling. So number 4 is respect your sleep cycle. I think that so many people have this urge to wake up early because that's apparently what you should be doing, but science shows us that sleep duration and sleep quality is way more important than the whole rise early thing. And if you read Matthew Walker's book, he will tell you that this is a non-negotiable. So if you're watching this feeling like you're failing because you're not a morning person, you're not. You're just human. Your biology doesn't always match the hype. So find your rhythm and honor it. Structure your day that works best for you. That's far more sustainable and far more likely to help you succeed. And if you're not sure where to start and you want help finding your rhythm and a schedule that suits you, then please do give me a shout. I'm always happy to help. I've totally been there. Like I said, I'm a night owl and I've definitely felt guilty from all the content that I've seen. And I still do sometimes, but I know when I work best and I will be happy to help anyone else who feels like they're in the same boat. And if you've resonated with this content, then please do hit like and subscribe and give me a shout below. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.